So let's compare the iPhone 11 with the iPhone 15 in 2024. The first thing we should take into account is going to be the price. The iPhone 11 is a great deal, especially on prepaid. Used, you can get it for like 150 bucks, but you can get it brand new on prepaid in some places like Metro and Cricket and all that. You can get it for free or as low as like 50 bucks. So the price is very, very enticing. While the iPhone 15 is hitting you up for like $800, you could probably get it as low as maybe, I don't know, $500-600 if you look on Swappa or other third-party websites for used devices. So obviously the iPhone 11 is going to be a better deal on price. First thing I notice is a difference is going to be the iPhone 11 has LTE. It doesn't have 5G like the iPhone 15, but in reality, you're really not going to notice. The size and the weight are going to be around the same. They're around 6 to 7 ounces. Build quality, both of these still have really good build quality, even the iPhone 11. Both of them have an aluminum frame, so there's no real difference in build quality. For the SIM cards, both of these have eSIM, so there's no real change there. You get a little bit more room for SIM cards in the iPhone 15. Both of these have IP68 dust and water resistance, except the iPhone 11 has 2 meters for 30 minutes of submersion, while the iPhone 15 has 6 meters. So no real big difference right there either. Both of these for the display, they both have 60 hertz refresh rates. So there hasn't been any real improvements from the iPhone 11 to the iPhone 15. You do have a little bit bigger bezels around the iPhone 11, which gives you 75% screen to body ratio, while the iPhone 15 has more slimmer bezels, and you get 86% screen to body ratio, but both screens are the same at 6.1 inches. So they're going to feel the same in your hand. Visually, the display, the iPhone 15 has that dynamic island, but in all honesty, it doesn't really affect the functionality of these devices, of how you use this device. For software, they're both running the same software. The iPhone 11 launched with iOS 13. iPhone 15 has iOS 17, the most newest one, but you're going to get almost the same features. 99% of the same features on both of these devices. The chipset, you have the A13 Bionic on the 11, and you get A16 Bionic on the iPhone 15. So they're only 3 generations apart. You're probably just going to feel a little bit more sluggishness on the iPhone 11, but not too much. One big difference we finally see here is going to be the internal storage. The iPhone 11, most of them have 64 gigs of storage, while the iPhone 15 has at 128 gigs. That's a new standard now. So that's a big difference you'll notice if you download a lot of apps and take a lot of videos. RAM, there's a difference. iPhone 11 has 4 gigs, while the 15 has 6 gigs. Again, not too much of a difference, but anytime Apple does a jump in RAM, that signifies that the software is always going to get updated for longer. So yeah, RAM is very important, but in everyday use, you won't see a difference. But the RAM really dictates, how much usability you can get from the device. So in this case, that extra RAM will make the iPhone 15 obviously be used for longer times and longer updates. So now we come to cameras, and that's, for a lot of people, that's the biggest feature of their device. And for Apple, they push a lot in newer iPhones. When they release a new one, they always push of how much better the camera is. And I'm not a camera snob. I think in this case, for everyday shots, the iPhone 11 will take perfectly good pictures. And they share the same type of features. I mean, you can shoot in 4K. They both have the ultra wide camera. You will get a little bit better shots of video and pictures on the iPhone 15, but honestly, they both take great pictures and videos. For the selfie camera, both of these have the exact same 12 megapixel camera and they both shoot in 4K, so you're good there. Bluetooth is upgraded on the 15. The iPhone 11 has 5.0 Bluetooth, while the 15 bumps it up to 5.3. And they both have Apple Pay, obviously, so there's no surprise there. There is a real dramatic change from Lightning in the iPhone 11 to the USB-C port on the 15, and that's going to be a big change for a lot of people. That'll make a difference. And in my experience, I have welcomed the change to USB Type-C because mostly I could charge my Android phone, my laptop, and my iPhone all with the same charger. And also I've noticed that my iPhone, when it changed to USB Type C, I've noticed it has charged a lot more faster. So basically you get super fast charging now, and you can charge all your devices with the same cable. So that's one huge difference when it comes to these devices. Both of these devices offer Face ID, so they're both good there. One has ultra wideband on the iPhone 11, and the iPhone 15 has an upgraded ultra wideband too. Not much difference here because to me all I care about is Find My and stuff like that, so you can see how far away your AirTag is and stuff. So not a big difference there. Next is going to be battery, and the iPhone 11 has a slightly smaller battery than the iPhone 15. The iPhone 15 has wireless charging with MagSafe. That's probably one thing that the iPhone 11 doesn't have. And it has reverse wired charging with that USB-C port. But in general, you're not going to see too much of a difference in battery life because they have the same size battery. But in the long run, with software optimization, chip optimization, and just a slightly bigger battery, you're going to get better, charging options and better battery life in general with the iPhone 15. But in everyday use and most people, if you just top it up a couple of times here and there, you shouldn't have a big problem. To sum up all my opinions between the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 15, I still think the iPhone 11 is a wonderful device to have in 2024. If you were to switch from one to the other and vice versa, you're not going to notice or miss too many features. Some of the biggest things that you're going to notice is going to be the USB-C port on the bottom. That's one big change. The dynamic island is mostly just a cosmetic thing. It doesn't give you that much more functionality. Storage is going to be a very important difference between these devices. 64 gigs, it's getting long in the tooth. And I think 128 gigs is sufficient for pretty much everybody. So the biggest differences between these devices is going to be the USB-C port for charging and the internal storage. And then also is going to be the iOS updates. Yeah, the iPhone 11 is not going to get that many more updates, probably one or two more updates at the most. And the RAM is going to go a long way. But usually if you got, since the iPhone 11 is an older device by a few generations, then yeah, it's probably going to have less RAM than the newest one. And that pretty much means that, yeah, the more RAM means that it's a newer device and it's going to get obviously more updates in the future. So that's just how it is. And the biggest difference is going to be the price. You can get an iPhone 11 for pretty much for free nowadays, and you can get it brand new from like prepaid carriers. And for what it does, I'd rather buy that than an iPhone 15 if I had a choice. Yeah, but just in 2 years, that's probably when the updates stop, that's when the iPhone 11 can't compete with newer devices. So other than that, if in 2024, yeah, you should definitely get an iPhone 11. Well, thanks for watching. Bye.